Good day, fellow investors. A lot of you are worried about what will happen, the crash, the this or that, but I feel we already lost and a lot. There was this great comment by Davide del Toro. The system is finally starting to fall. West leaders will have to decide between a full reset recession or higher inflation for longer. My sense is that they don't have the guts to reset the system to make it more efficient. In the inflation scenario, I don't see stocks doing bad against other classes. We must put cash to work in the next dips before they blink. So that is correct. Inflation and investing, the first topic. Another comment in that line, Marco said, I don't really see how the euro currency could fall apart because I said that the European situation is bad. Doesn't mean it has to fall apart. We will discuss how it will crumble itself. Maybe we'll all use the euro 50 years, but it will be worth much, much less. That is my message, and it has already happened. We already lost, well, as you'll see. And then also, Med Creative Arts says, potentially, what could happen to people with pensions? Could they stop paying out? They won't be stopping paying out. The government will go into deficits, print money, whatever, but we already lost the purchasing power. Oh, by the way, the finance minister that created this issue in the UK got fired, so very, very interesting. Now, when it comes to inflation, the annual inflation now is 10%, 8.2% in the US, and not really stopping, not really being transitory. If you look at globally, everything is in the red globally except for China. Okay, China is in the lockdown, but when it comes to investing, yes, owning stocks, owning businesses, Buffett said invest in the best business in the sector because that one will profit from issues from inflation by being able to reinvest capital, grow, take out others, having straight cash flows that will allow them to be stronger later. And if you are the best business in the sector, you can increase prices in line with inflation because you are the best. That is investing. Of course, some businesses will crumble under higher rates despite inflation, especially in highly competitive industries, but then again, you are not the best. So, on the system, I don't think a reset or whatever will be the case. We already lost 20% of purchasing power in Europe in 12 months, a year, a little bit more. And the next situation, the next issue, the next recession, the next drought, the next whatever, what will central banks do? Central banks will again print the heck out of everything, and we already see also governments helping people with inflation. And even in that environment, we have to invest in the best businesses. So the system has been falling for the last 10 years. This is not something that will happen quickly. This will happen in a way that, oh, it happened, and you notice 10 years after. You notice, oh yes, inflation is 20%, okay. But you're focused on paying your bills, on this, on that, getting a job, life. And this is something that comes along that you don't even feel, but it happens. And then you turn around, oh, 10 years ago, prices were so much lower and my wage didn't go up. And that is how it works, my friends. On the collapse, well, doesn't mean it has to collapse and we go back to Deutschmarks. It just means that when they lowered rates to zero, it means that they decided to trash the currency. That is what it means. And yes, now rates are going up, but we are still at 1%, 2, 3, while inflation is 8% of 10%. So still very stimulative. The balance sheets haven't been going down because if they really push rates higher, Italy, Spain, they get to issues, and that is how you destroy a currency. It doesn't have to collapse, but printing low rates, rates below inflation, slowly but surely you trash a currency and you make it collapse. And also look at the fiscal deficits, the borrowing for the US. They're going to borrow for eternity. You can also only do that by printing more money. And people have started to feel it, but governments have started just to print more. In the Netherlands, the Dutch government confirms energy price cap and discounts that will be paid by the government, thus again money printing. So they will cover for struggling consumers. What will be next, I wonder? That is the world we are living in. What will happen with pensions? They will not stop paying out. They will print the heck out of their pensions. Now, this is Dutch. I worked in the Netherlands for a few years and I have an ABP pension. And just look at this. This is Anke, and she is investing the money in global bonds, government bonds. And I just look at what they have. They have 228 billion euros in stocks. They have 220 billion in fixed income bonds. And when I look at what they own, 140 billion in government bonds. Of course, okay, they have most of the money in dollars, so they hedged their bets there, right? So they will be all happy about how much money they made for us. However, if I look at where that is invested, most money is invested in government bonds. Most money is invested with interest rates at, what is this? One from 0 to 3%. So I'm losing 5% even more per year from this investment as the currencies get trashed. And the funny thing there is that most of the money is invested in long-term obligations at interest rates of almost zero. Most invested at 0 to 1. So 10% of my pension fund is invested in a long-term obligation, giving me 0 to 1%. Of course, this has nothing to do with Anke. She's just doing her job and she's getting paid. Who cares? But who can tell me that it is a sane decision to invest 50 billion euros into something at 0% for more than 5 years? Thus, you are deciding to lose money for your customers, for our retirement, with 99% probability. Of course, the environment was different. She will get her salary, hopefully has a nice fixed income mortgage from the same provider. And that's life. And that's why I always say, okay, these pensions, you get tax benefits, this and that, but don't expect miracles. Build your own pension. If you want to build your own pension, this is the channel to subscribe to if you haven't. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.